Why, hello there, and welcome to the third episode on how to become a better builder. In this one, we're actually going to be talking about layers, guys. Finally, this one's coming out. And this one probably won't be as long of a video, not like the other ones were long at all. But this is just more about actually getting some layers into your build. It adds more depth, it adds more detail. Phone go off, sorry. And It's just more about making a flat surface on a building turn into more, I want to say professional like, but I mean, you can still kind of go wrong with it. It just kind of depends. You got to play with it. So say like this is your wall. Like you took what I was talking about in the last two tutorials, which these are the two spots. If you missed those, go check them out. You're using your pole or your beam or whatever. You're using your base support and you're using your filler. Didn't put it in the window, but say like you're using that. Okay, good. Like you're starting to get some design into it. Now, if you want to take the next step, you add a layer. So by layers, for those that don't really know, um, it's basically like you're taking a flat surface and you're taking part of it back one or forward one. So in this like little wall segment right here, there's actually like 2 blocks like deep, like on just this one wall segment. If you want to take it further, you can start adding in stairs or slabs. Now, stairs and slabs, even though these are placed in the exact same spots where there was already blocks before, technically it's still only a 2 block layer, but you can see through part of it, which kind of adds a layer on its own. It's kind of like almost like you're cheating with layers because you're not adding on a layer, but really, like to the eye, you are. Um, Sorry, I get a little choked up. Yeah, I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be right back. All right. Not really sure what happened there. Sorry about that. But basically, it's not really adding a layer, but it's making it seem like you are. Sweet tea is the way to go. Now, once you have that, you can kind of play around with stairs and slabs. Now, I just kind of threw this together within a few minutes. Don't think that this is like the design to go with, please. Um, when you're actually getting segments, like whenever you're getting multiple of like these wall segments and putting them all together in a build, that's where these would kind of make more sense. But if it's just by itself, it looks kind of dumb. But just please imagine more wall segments involved here. But once you get, kind of going with what you want to settle around, maybe add another layer of just stairs or something. Maybe not. You can chain, yeah, you can change a few blocks here and there. Just use a chiseled stone instead of the normal stone on like individual blocks. And then I put a fence here. Now it does kind of blend in, but you can tell that there's something there in front of the actual like cobblestone wall, and it just adds like a whole nother layer. Um, and then, okay, there is overdoing it. uh, Let me explain. So we have this, right? And then say, all right, you want even more. Like you're not happy with this? Like, okay, cool. Just keep on adding blocks. Um, like slabs on top of stairs could be interesting. I did that on all four of the corners. And then with the stairs upside down here, I brought out a slab on the same level and then the cobblestone fence again with another slab on top. Now, whenever you get to be at a settling point with your wall, once you have all your layers in, say, okay, ignore like from here up. So say I'm just happy with this right here. Okay, now's where you gotta decide if you want to go out a block or back a block. Now what I mean by this is like say like your wall's here. I'm not gonna make layers, whatever. But say your wall's here. Now once you are happy with your layers, you gotta decide if you want your wall to be out a block and then make a whole nother wall, or like it can either be, sorry, I'm repeating myself, either be in front or say like this is the front wall, or it can be behind. So you gotta kind of choose a side there. If you keep on going straight up, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to actually get some detail in. That's why I prefer to either go either in or out. So on here, I went out. I went out 1 block. Now, because my pillar's on this side, I continue the wood on the side as a pillar, just kind of showing like, okay, this is like the kind of support, line, whatever. I'm going to continue the pillar on that line, which is like this row of blocks. Now you can also add in more like in the middle or really anywhere else. Like I said, just play with it. So my wall actually ended here, and then I brought it out one. And also another thing for you to decide is if, well, not really if, but how much taller or shorter that the next wall is going to be. Because depending on what you're building, say you're building a tower, maybe the first like wall should be, standard height. The second wall should be like really tall. Or like say you're building a wall. Say this is like normal height, and then your next layer is kind of short, and then your third is kind of tall. I mean, really, basically overall like gist of whenever you're building with layers is just play with it. That's the best way to go. Never settle for anything like extremely fast. Like don't rush yourself. This is rushing myself. And really I have no idea where this design came from, but I've kind of been building with it lately. So I added another layer. I added the post in the sides. I added one more in the middle. Now the whole thing isn't showing. That's only half the block, which actually helps out a lot. Because it's not so much of what I mean, which is another helpful thing with layers, because you're getting rid of part of the blocks that you could see, but like it comes down to the end, you're actually helping yourself out, because it's like, okay, there's actually like a lot more there, or you're getting more detail by bringing it down a bit by actually adding on to it. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Trust me on this. But this is actually like a flat wall here. But I added in the wood in the middle and also the design block in the middle. So you're helping yourself, which is I explained in later episode or previous episodes. Yes, it's a flat wall, but I'm adding in more blocks to help that out. But then I go and add in these this layer right here on the top and bottom to help that out. Now even right here I could like add a stair like there is on top, like I can mirror it, which would still look good. Really, I gotta stop repeating myself. Just play with it. Just keep on adding and removing blocks until you're happy with it. Now, I'll go ahead and show you guys some examples of what I'm talking about. So this one's actually pretty old. And it's also one of the builds where you just kind of repeat every single wall segment instead of making it a little bit different. But in this one, I use 1, 2, 3, and kind of a half layers. Use slabs and a whole block, and then you got your filler with the window, which is panes, by the way, which also helps with layers. And then kind of mirroring what's on bottom and on top. And then I go back a block, and I only go up maybe 1 or 2 blocks, and just for more of decorative purposes. This is actually from Well Starburst on this one. This is just a wall segment that I kind of built from one of his videos. Now he made entire structures of like this far, like in-depth layers that I'm using. I don't even know how many layers. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that's kind of like where the other one began. But he's using insane amount of layers, which, like I said before, you can overdo it, but if you do it right, there's no way to overdo it, like ever. Now when it comes to walls, usually you can actually repeat the exact same wall over and over and over again, because it's just kind of like the whole design. Again, this is pretty old, but this is actually another good example. Whenever you want a large portion of the wall to be the same block, which whenever it comes actually like city walls, like that's actually kind of the thing to do. You can even help yourself out by doing upside down stairs and normal stairs to get like a little bit of an indentation to the wall. Now in reality it's a flat surface, but because you're going with the indentions, it looks like you're adding another layer when you're really not. And again, like I just went back, right here I went back like 3 blocks, which again, play with it. I went back 3 blocks and then pretty much replicated what I did here, but I shortened it down a whole lot. That's another thing that you could also think about. Okay, with this is actually another wall. I was just kind of playing with this one day because my friend, I can't talk in this video, I'm so sorry. My friend wanted me to build him a wall on his castle, so I just got on this world and just started playing with it. Now, if you notice, obviously I'm only using 2 or 3 blocks. In the previous builds, I've been using, like look at my hotbar, pretty much all these blocks. You don't have to use a ton of blocks to get a build to look really good with layers, because that's the magic that layers provide for you. You can use the exact same block but add in all these layers and it looks awesome still. When you're looking at this straight on, maybe not so much, but if you're, say like you're walking by, I mean, you're looking at like 5 layers right now, and it's only from like 3 different block types, and it's like a lot of stairs and slabs. That's why I absolutely love those blocks. Now, right now I'm on the server that I've been working on with a couple people from the server that I play on, Affinity. This is actually my buddy Ollie's server. Right here, I'm building the Hunger Games lobby. Now, in the very beginning of this episode, I showed like a really random wall design. Now here, I actually kind of use that same design, but I actually kind of thought it out in a way. I'm nowhere near done, but you kind of see the gist I'm using here. In these walls, I'm using, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. And I think I went back. Actually, no, I went back a little bit. I think I went back like 1 block. But these are mainly standing straight up, but I'm actually going to end up building still on top of those. And then, like I said before with the towers, don't leave okay, my towers are shitty. I'm not good at building towers. I need someone to help me with towers. But like I said before about thinking about how short or how tall you want your segments to be. I mean, it's just kind of an example. Now, you can, what am I trying to say here? You can add on as much as you'd like. Now, it can get overwhelming or not as good as it could be. And that's why I suggest you to actually even take down or remove or add on to something that you guys believe might be good enough, because you might surprise yourself. A lot of the times I've built something, I'll be like, all right, yeah, that's really good. So I might keep it, or I might like replicate it and then keep on building onto it. Or I'd take something away and do something completely different. And then in the end, I might end up liking something that I changed better than the original. Which is why, the first point is play with it. Second point is don't settle with your first outcome, because when you're doing layers, you can always change almost everything, because there's so many possibilities whenever it comes to layers with the block types, how tall you make it, basically everything I've been talking about. Now on this one, when it comes to houses, it's possible that you guys can overdo it a little bit. Whoops, this isn't it. Embarrassing bad video. Now you see how slow my computer is too. When it comes to houses, I don't know why I named it Empire. These are super old worlds. When it comes to houses, you actually can overdo it just a little bit. This is a house that I made just out of boredom. Same design. Now I did mess up on this one. I made it even numbers, which I talked about not doing in a previous episode, so I just didn't even bother with the roof. I just made it like a castle. But with houses, it's a little easier to overdo it, like standard houses. If it's a large house or a large building, then go crazy with it. But with this might be overdoing it just a little bit, but not so much that it's like, what the hell were you thinking? This is still like kind of decent. So guys, just remember, just don't settle with your first outcome. Play with it, think of designs that you can do, and let's look at how bad my interior skills are. Uh, but definitely give it a shot, guys. It helps out your builds a lot. I know I'm repeating myself so much. I'm so sorry. But I hope that I can't talk either. Yo, great video, crazy, awesome video. I hope that this helped you all, and I hope that you learned something today. And I hope that I kind of caught your attention for more episodes, and I hopefully also caught your attention to check out my channel. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more. I hope that you return even after this bad commentary. Hopefully that made sense, and I'm really sorry for repeating myself a lot. But I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.